Massive GPU price drops are coming for Amazon Prime Days. Red Dead Redemption officially coming to PCs with support of DLSS 3.7 and FSR 3.0. Intel Core Ultra 200 IPC gains are here. Intel Core Ultra 200S final specs has been leaked. And lastly, Intel is admitting that their Core Ultra processors will be slower than the previous generation. Okay, so firstly, we have some serious GPU price drops coming in here. As you can see, similarly, previously in my videos, we had some deals going on, but now we have the Amazon Prime Days event going on, and we already have some serious price drops coming in from XFX Speedster, of course. Merc 310, this particular GPU, the RX 7900 XTX, is coming at 788, a 21% drop here, which is huge. First time we're looking at RX 7900 XTX going below $800. We also had the XFX Speedster Mark 310, which is the RX 7900 XT, coming at 629. It's 9% drop, but still a pretty decent drop here. We also have the 7800 XT coming at 427, a massive 18% drop. So these deals are crazy. Not only that, we also have NVIDIA GPUs, the RTX 4070 Ti coming at 749. This is below $800 or 750, I should say, coming at 11% price drop here, which is pretty decent, not gonna lie. We also have the PNY GeForce RTX 4070 Ti coming at 759, a little bit premium than the previous one, but still 10% drop for this particular GPU isn't too bad. And of course, lastly, the RTX 4070 Twin Edge from Zotac coming at 529. I saw this particular GPU above 599 not too long ago, but now we're seeing 529 for this particular GPU, so pretty decent pricing here. And it doesn't surprise me why these GPUs are dropping in price, because they need to clear the stocks because of the, the 8000 series from RDNA 4 and the 5000 series from NVIDIA. So yeah, these prices will be dropping, so links will be in the description. You can check it out, and I'll let you know if I find more deals. And next, we have some massive news for the gamers, of course, and kind of interesting and also hilarious that Red Dead Redemption, not 2, but Red Dead Redemption 1 and the Undead Nightmare DLC will be coming on PCs in October 29. So basically, after 14 years later, this particular game is coming to the PC ecosystem, which is kind of mind-blowing. Like, if you think about it, back then it was launched and you were like so young, but now you're like an older person now, because it's been 14 years since it was launched on consoles, but now we're looking at coming at PCs. This is kind of like hilarious, because you were a child back then, or same goes for me. I was a child back then, and now I'm just grown up now playing this particular game on PC. This is kind of wild that this is happening. But yeah, they are bringing in the Red Dead Redemption and the Undead Nightmare DLC on PC, so that's pretty good. Rockstar Games also confirmed that the game will support DLSS frame generation, DLSS 3.7 and AMD FSR 3.0, but they didn't really mention the AMD frame generation, so I'm guessing if they haven't mentioned AMD frame gen but did mention DLSS frame gen, then obviously AMD FSR will not be supporting AMD frame generation for some reason, but I guess they will bring that later on. We'll see about that. But I don't think you would require any kind of upscalers, because the minimum spec is GTX 960 and the maximum is RTX 2070, which I guess is pretty decent enough. Next up, we have some interesting information coming from HXL, and we have some serious information from Intel. And as you can see, it says the Arrow Lake S IPC gains, which we are looking at, is P-Core is 9% and E-Core is 32%. So this is the leaked information or leaked chart we're looking at, or leaked slide. So we're looking, as you can see, the Lion Cove architecture compared to Raptor Cove will have 9% IPC gain, and of course the Sky Mount, which is the E-Core, of course, compared to the Grace Mount, will have 32% IPC gain. So that's pretty decent, not gonna lie, that is pretty good. And yeah, there are some other informations, but all we can tell right now is that the IPC gains are looking not that bad, although there are some bad news. As you can see, when they compared their previous generation Intel processor and the AMD 9950X, we're comparing the Ultra 9 285K versus the AMD 9950X, the gains are not that much, at least for productivity. As you can see, the 8% here is comparing the previous generation of Intel processors, which is kind of expected, but also not that great either. But compared to AMD 9950X, it's just only 4% on average on productivity benchmark. So yeah, not really that much gain. So the composition is pretty tame here. And next up, more information for the Intel Core Ultra 200 processors coming in, and these are the spec list right over here. The whole slide has been leaked, so let's look into it, shall we? So first up, we can see that the spec sheet is confirming that Core Ultra 9 285K is gonna be a 24-core processing, 8 Lamco P-cores and 16 Skymont E-cores. Of course, the CPU will have 36 megabytes of Intel Smart Cache and 40 megabytes of L2 cache, and it will boost up to 5.7 gigahertz. And of course, the Core Ultra 7 and Core Ultra 5 will be supporting thermal velocity boost. And now the Core Ultra 5 will also get that feature available, as we already know that Core i9 series used to have the thermal velocity boost, but now the Ultra 7 and Ultra 5 will also have it, so that's pretty good. And as you can see, the Core Ultra 7 265K and 265KF, they have the 20 cores processors with 8 P cores and 12 E cores, and these CPUs will boost up to 5.5 GHz and will feature 30 megabytes of smart cache and 36 megabytes of L2 cache. And of course, the 265KF will have the integrated graphics card disabled, nothing surprising. But yeah, it would feature 4 Xe cores for the 265K. Similarly, the 285K, they will feature Intel Xe LP graphics, which is of course 4 Xe cores. As for the Ultra 5 245K and 245KF, we're looking at 14 CPU cores, and basically it's 6 plus 8, so yeah, 6 P cores and 8 efficiency cores, and will boost up to 5.2 gigahertz, and these will support 24 megabytes of smart cache and 26 megabytes of L2 cache. As for the GPU, it will support XeLP graphics with 4 Xe cores, of course, but the clock is 1.9 rather than 2 gigahertz, so a bit 100 gigahertz lower. Also, as for the memory support, we're looking at DDR5 6400, so I'm guessing that is the sweet spot for these CPUs. And yeah, you can support up to 192 gigabytes of memory, so that's pretty decent. Although I don't think you would require one, but I guess for data center, sure, why not? And for the typical Intel fashion, the maximum power draw, as you can see, will be 250 watts for the Core Ultra 9 and Core Ultra 7 series, but for the Ultra 5, we're looking at 159 watts. Of course, this is the maximum power draw. The usual TDP should be 125. So yeah, this is the whole spec we're looking at right now. And next up, again, Intel. But bad news. So basically, they're comparing some games here compared to the previous generation Raptor Lake processors, the Ultra 9 285K, and the gains are not much. Like, I don't know which games are here. I can already tell this is F1 2024, getting -7%, not good at all. Absolutely. We have the Cyberpunk 2077 here because I can understand this from 2077. It is on par, so again, like, there's no change whatsoever. F1 23, however, getting 15%, but the latest F1 24 gets less. So obviously that's not pretty good. That's a mediocre. And in general, the whole titles, you can see it's not looking that good. Some of the titles, like 4%, 6%, and 11% maybe, and this 15%. But it's kind of pointless when all the other titles are literally nothing gain, no gain, with less performance. Is not looking pretty good. It's not looking that good. But they also compared it with the 7950 X3D, and in this case, there are some decent performance uplift, which is kind of surprises me. Why would 7950 X3D have lesser performance in most of the cases? But again, that could be cherry picked. But at least in terms of gaming, we don't really see that much gains. Like, it's losing by 21%, so that is pretty expected because it's an X3D processor. The rest of the results, as you can see, 15% gain and then -13% loss, on par with 2 of the cases. Really not looking that great. In productivity, however, it's looking pretty good. 5% to 18% on Geekbench. Cinebench 2024, we're looking at 21% gain, and POV Ray Traced, we're looking at 30%. So not bad in this case. However, this is the particular thing that we want to look into. When they're comparing with the i9 14900K, as you can see, it's gaining 264 FPS versus 261, which is the Ultra 9 285K. It's getting lesser FPS, although it's just only 3 FPS on average. The whole, games has been tested. This is the average score we're looking at here, but it is more efficient. However, that is quite interesting. 527 watts for the 4900K versus 447 watts for Ultra 9 285K. So in terms of efficiency, it feels like Ultra 9 or the Core Ultra series will be better than the Raptor Lake. That is pretty much evident here, although the performance is not looking that great, or the gains are little to nothing. And finally, they also compared this with the 9950X. So in this case, it's a similar story, literally the similar story, as you can see. Although one particular game got 28% gain for whatever reason, but it doesn't surprise me because 9950 7950X is literally 7950X. We can say that. So in this case, yeah, it is not that surprising. So in general, the performance is not gonna be groundbreaking. Although the IPC gains looked good, it feels like it's gonna be only good for productivity benchmarks or productivity softwares. But in terms of games, not looking that great. But I guess the i7 model can change my mind. We'll see about that. Or should I say Ultra 7, because I doesn't exist anymore. Alright, that is it for today. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video with more information and GPU deals.